In Unit 3, we build on what we already know about basic rhythm. This unit focuses on ties. A tie connects two or more notes of the same pitch. When you sing a tied note, you hold the pitch for the value of the notes that are tied together. Ties are often used when a note is longer than a measure allows. Let's go ahead and listen to how this example sounds. Now, you may have noticed that this third note here, E, was held for 2 beats. And the last note, C, was held for 6 beats. That's because even though this is a quarter note, this E, it has been tied, that's what this arc is, to the following E. So what happens is when we sing or play this E, instead of holding it for 1 beat, we hold it for 1 beat plus another beat, so it ends up being 2 beats long. We add the value of the tied notes together. The last note here, the C, is a half note, which gets 2 beats, but it's been tied to the whole note here, which gets 4 beats. So we hold it for the total value of both notes under the tie. 2 plus 4 is 6. The time signature here, this C, remember, means common time. And common time is another way to write 4/4. The time signature 4/4. So that means that we have 4 beats per measure, and the quarter note gets the beat. Listen one more time to this example. So let's go ahead and write in the counts. So we know we start with beat number 1, and I'm going to put 2 in parentheses to remind me not to say another syllable there, that it's held for 2 beats. Then we go to beat 3 and beat 4. Beat 1, I'm not going to re-articulate because it's being held over. So for the same reason that I put a parentheses here for this half note, I'm going to put a parentheses here for the downbeat. This is essentially like having another half note. Now the reason why we can't use a half note is because this second beat falls over the bar line. Remember, when we get to 4, since we're in 4/4, we have to start over with 1. So now we're on beat 2, beat 3. We'll stay there for 2 beats, so I write down 2 counts. The next measure starts with 1, then beat number 2. Then this half note gets 2 counts, but it's actually going to get 4 more counts because it's tied over. So if I were to use my metronome and say the counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, usually we're not going to reiterate the number when it's a half note. So listen one more time in case you are more comfortable with this way. And I'm not going to say the beat that happens when a note is tied over or if it's longer than a quarter note. 1, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So let's look and see how long these notes are based on the pitches. So if you remember, this note here is C. Remember again, we're in treble clef. So every good boy does fine are the names of the lines. So E, the space below that would be D. The ledger line below that is C. Now I'm moving up by step. This next note, which is right below the bottom line of E, so I go backwards in the alphabet, is D. Here I have E. E is going to last until here, where I have F, and then G. And I'm just walking up the musical alphabet. After G, we start over again with A, B, C. So if I were to sing this on the pitch names, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You may have recognized that as a scale. So let's add the solfege syllables. So do, re, mi, fa, sol. Some of you may know this as sol. Some of you may know it as so. La, ti, do. And that lasts. Let's put a little. There we go. So if I were to sing this on the solfege syllables, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It's time to practice what we've learned. Let's practice writing in the counts. Notice for this example, the time signature is 5/4. That means there will be 5 beats in each measure, and the quarter note still gets the beat. 5/4 is not a time signature that we see very often in Western music. It's what's called an asymmetrical time signature, meaning that you can't really divide the measure up into even groups. It's generally groups of 2 beats and groups of 3 beats. So here, this is going to be what we call a 2 plus 3. 2 beats plus 3 beats. 2 beats plus 3 beats. So let's go ahead and listen to this. Again, you may recognize the scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, with an octave jump down to the low do. So let's go ahead and write in the beats or the counts. So we will always start with 1. And then since that quarter note gets 1 beat, we move to 2. Now remember for eighth notes, this pair of eighth notes together gets a beat, meaning this half note will be the next beat, beat 3. But before we get there, we have to divide this beat up. So this is 2, and 3, 4, 5. Then we get to beat 1. Remember, with the top number of 5 in this time signature, we're expecting 5 beats per measure. Then we'll see a bar line, and then we start over with beat number 1. Remember, half notes get 2 counts, so I'm going to write down 2 numbers. Here's another half note, so it is also going to get 2 counts. And then here's beat 5. And beats 1 and 2 of the next measure are tied over, so I'm going to put those in parentheses. And then the last of the beats are here. This dotted half note gets 3 beats. Because the half note gets 2 beats, the dot adds half the value of the original note, so 2 plus 1 equals 3. So I put 3 counts here for beats 3, 4, and 5. And if I start my metronome, 1, 2, and 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 3, which is kind of weird to say 5 and then go to 3, which is why sometimes people prefer to say these beats out loud that are occurring over these held over notes. So let me do it one more time that way. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.